This is how I built my dream desk setup for 2020. So what's up guys, Fabria and welcome to Shades of Tech. In the previous video I showed you my dream desk setup for 2020 with all the main hardware that make this setup perfect. You might remember my latest setups. In the last studio tour you saw my latest configuration, but I couldn't find the right balance that worked well for me. The iMac was great but totally underpowered and the design was a decade old. So I decided to build the new one from scratch, removing all the unnecessary components and create just a new desk setup with clean and modern design, with balanced positioning and custom built around my workflow. So the first part was to remove all the components, leaving just the main desk, the Mirage from Riflessi Italian design and the Alex drawer from IKEA. The main concept I based this build on was the power of the 6.1 Apple Mac Pro I recently maxed out with 12-core 24-thread CPU, 64 gigs of RAM, a 4TB SSD, and the crispy 4K HDR monitor, the LG 27 UK 850W, well mounted of course. The main goal was to create a floating monitor look, so I started building the desk all around those concepts. The second move was to mount the monitor wall arm. After a lot of searching, since I am no expert in this, I bought the Arctic W1 3D that supports up to 8 kilos of load, and I honestly believe it's the best I could find because it gives me tons of flexibility in positioning and ergonomics and can go really close to the wall. Other systems don't have all this kind of flexibility. They can go only up and down or backward forward, but not both of them at the same time. Anyway, after a little bit of testing and planning, I decided where to make the two holes in the wall and to place the base of the arm. I positioned it in this way so I could go really close to the wall or move it closer to me and to my eyes. The monitor arm is invisible while working from half a meter distance, but there's a small price to pay, because if you have a 27-inch monitor, you will be able to see a little bit of the arm on the side if you move to the side, but on the other side it's basically invisible. Totally wow effect. So for me it was totally worth it. You probably don't care about it, but since I'm really an aesthetic person and I wanted to have also a bigger monitor, in the next month I'm planning to upgrade to a 5K 2K monitor from LG, the 34WK95U. So I'll cover completely the arm, get a 29:9 aspect ratio to take full advantage of my videos and to get a larger real estate pixel for an improved video editing experience. Once I screwed the arm base on the wall, I removed the original stand from the LG monitor and was very happy to discover that there were already the 4 VISA 100 screws that I needed to attach the VISA plate to the display. Then I connected the two arms, one regular arm and one gas-loaded to support the monitor weight. And if you want, you can use only one of them, but you will reduce the degree of movement. You of course can change the strength of the arm, so it's very convenient if you change your monitor. Then I mounted the arms and the monitor to the wall plate and fixed them, and it was done. I immediately loved the result, so I put the desk back in place and it was time for my Mac Pro to go on the desk. It was really starting to shape according to my dream project. The design of the cylinder Mac Pro is very nice and futuristic, even if you consider it's 7 years old, but I needed of course to connect some cables like the Thunderbolt for the monitor, some external USB and some Ethernet. But the way it was designed and the way my desk was placed in the studio near the couch let me position the cables in a way they were really well organized and almost invisible from all the sides. Being a minimal person, I already loved the final result, but it was too empty, so I decided to add something more. To keep the setup really balanced, I decided to leave the space under the setup and the monitor empty and to place everything on the two sides, 3 pieces on each side to be precise. So I added 2 cylindrical symmetrical lamps with Philips Hue RGB bulbs 2 green plants, and of course my wife's custom-made lamp with Himalayan salt and white stones that turns on when the Mac boots up. The cable management was a little bit tricky though, since I already planned this setup. While I was building the studio, I created some hidden passage in the wall to hide the cables and some power plugs behind the monitor, so I could easily hide the power cables. Also, the cables follow the arm movement, so I can move it without any risk of disconnecting the cable. Also, I already passed to HDMI 2.0b cables to connect my PS4 to the monitor and the Mac Pro to my 8K TV. Then simply use the desktop top to pass all the cables below, fixing with some ties, and the Alex drawer to hide all the power plugs and the hard drives and the SSDs. So nothing super complicated or fancy, and the result is really great. All the RGB Philips Hue lights are wireless controlled. So far no audio monitor, speakers, I'm just using the AirPods Pro that are also Bluetooth. A few nice touch are the IKEA remote to control the lights under the desk and the card reader with USB hub. So this is how I built my 2020 Dream Desk setup, and be sure to check my Dream Desk tour for all the products I use. And let me know what you guys think. Thanks so much for watching me so far. Be sure to like or dislike this video, comment and subscribe. And as always, stay tuned on Shades of Tech. Ciao!